YouTube, what is up? We are back with another day. We got some snatches. We're gonna do some lateral one-handed snatches that range of strength. Posted today on his Twitter. I told him I'd try them out, so we're gonna rip those. Then we're gonna hit real snatches after that. Then we're gonna hit 1 rep max on the bench, probably finish with some arms. I hit all of my accessories this morning. We had some standing chest flies, a lot of PVC pipe rotational stuff, and a dumbbell overhead iso, which is really nice for the shoulders. That one felt like money. Got everything done this morning. I really like kind of splitting up those workouts into kind of two. Keeps my ADHD brain focused. When I get after these weights here, I don't have to feel or like dread that I got a lot of stuff after. Just for me personally right now, that works. So I've been kind of doing that. I really enjoy that approach. But again, if I'm not showing all the weird stuff that we do, and I kind of just stick with the main stuff, that's why we're still doing all the weird stuff. We're just doing it in the morning with all the athletes. Try to spice in some of the weird stuff here just so it's not the same 4 lifts over and over again. Kind of using these videos more so for the message rather than the actual lifts in and of itself. And I know some of you are here for the lifts in and of itself. So try to do a better job of that, but just personally right now, helps me get through my workouts, and we've been kind of crushing workouts. We hit a little 315, the easiest 315 clean I've done in a long time and maybe ever. Even though I was like cleaning 350, it was always a grind. Like I was jumping underneath the bar and it's just a full send. It was like crazy loud music, full sends. This one, like I really wasn't feeling great. We trained for like 7 hours that day. We played a bunch of spike ball and hit a bunch of softball, but I was there forever and basically was fasted the whole day. Other than the chicken sandwich I got from Quick Trip like 6 hours into our training session, and ripped it off the ground, which was cool, and definitely could have get in more, but just want to end on that win. So that was cool with the boys. Just finished up BP with money, so feeling pretty warmed up, feeling pretty juicy. Let's get after these lifts, let's go. All right, so I hit 1 set of these empty bar suitcase snatch warm up. So it's just a lateral suitcase deadlift into the snatch, and it was already lighting up my core. These are gonna be fucking spicy. Probably not gonna get to go super heavy on these, but I'm gonna hit 3 reps each side, probably hit a singy. Then we'll hit no foot snatches just because I've been enjoying how those feel, and if those are feeling cooking, we'll hit regular snatches today and see how we can push those. Let's get it. Oof. 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 Whee. Oh, almost lost balance there. Gotta grab it in the middle. Oof. Oof. Let's go. Those actually felt better than I thought they were gonna feel. Add weight, keep ripping. So these actually felt really money. I think this exercise is a perfect demonstration. This is why I love like range of strength, just vast knowledge of exercises. He's very much like me. I think I think he has more of a history understanding of me, whereas I kind of just like think of an idea and kind of like just program in that setting. And he probably does a ton of that too, and maybe he backs it up on the back end. Maybe he comes up with the idea in his head and then he does the research, or maybe he's just a genius with all of his history stuff that he has, but he kind of has like historical references for all of his lifts. But I love his historical references to these lifts because he shows just an absolute jack savage doing these lifts, and the lifts that people would call like pointless bullshit functional fitness. Like that dude's just absolutely jacked doing it. And I'm not saying that's the lift that got him absolutely jacked, but if that dude's jacked and more ripped than the people that are saying it's bullshit and it's a stupid lift, maybe we should listen to the jack dude and not these sports scientist nerds, right? Like you can do these lifts that aren't optimal, that are a little functional, that maybe are a little goofy, but they're just fun to do. Because they're fun to do, you show up to work out and you push yourself and you have intent there, and you get way more jacked that way than being nihilistic about every single fucking workout and exercise that you have, because there needs to be a purpose and rhythm and scientific biomechanical understanding for everything that you do. These one-handed snatches are fun. They make my core feel like they're on fire. They make me feel athletic, like I have to balance and like hold that position when I get back up. And that's a fun feeling in the gym. It's fun to feel athletic in a gym, and you can do things because they're fun and athletic, right? And they look cool, right? I think that's a cool point of the gym. A lot of high schoolers get in the gym because benching a lot of weight is cool, and it's like a badge of honor to do. And strength coaches kill that fun, and it's a silly approach. Like, let them have their fun. Obviously, get the meat and potatoes of your workout done, but I think you can lose, and don't lose sight of the meat and potatoes. But that's like a bare minimum strength coach thing. Like you can add in a little dessert in your workouts as well, and then not lose your meat and potatoes and not get your panties in a bunch about everything, all right? So let's rip these. Oof. 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 God dang, can't get it to stay on that pad. Oof. Those are fun. Gonna add weight. Maybe hit like doubles or singles. I don't really know the point of doing triples here, other than they're kind of fun. I just kind of want to push the weight there and then get the snatches. Let's go. All right, let's rip a singy here. Let's get it. It's probably gonna be pretty heavy. Let's lock in. Whee! Ooh, left elbow's a little spicy. Owie. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get the full send on that left elbow. Here we go. Owie. Ooh. All right, we're counting on the left elbow. Let's get to some real snatches. That left elbow's gonna blow up otherwise. All right, hit a couple warm-up sets here. I don't wanna hype it up too much because I feel like once I hype it up, the weight's gonna talk shit to me, but form is feeling fire right now. I know it was lighter weight, so that's probably why, but felt really good. So hopefully we can do something with these snatches today. Let's get it. Oof. 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 Woo. Let's go. Those are feeling good. Soccer's in here with a group, and they're playing their playlist, and they got some low on right now, and we're bopping in here. Let's go. Oof. Oof. Oh my. That feels amazing. Let's go. All right, so just before I get started on this rant, this is not a suggestion to do anything that I do. This is not advice. This is definitely, I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to random people on the internet telling you about drugs, all right? Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a terrible idea, especially for me. Don't listen to me, okay? But went to a Griffin concert this past weekend. Went on a 2-gram psilocybin trip. Amazing concert, did it for the fun. But every time I go on a 2-gram plus trip, the week after, skill acquisition-wise, is unbelievable. And they have a bunch of studies about the neuroplasticity after a big trip, and it's like 7 to 14-ish days, I believe. For some reason, I'm thinking 28, but for me, anyways, it's 7 to 14 days where I really, really feel it. Where when I swing after it, like everything just feels new. Like it feels like my brain is completely empty of the other stuff. I pick up on a bat, I can focus on something and then like perform it, right? And that's what the snatch is feeling like right now. Like it feels like my arm, I feel my length in my arms, a pull through and just like doing exactly the right things without any preset notions, right? So it's just a cool observation. And again, the maps, if you're looking for more information on it, look at maps. But again, I would not recommend going on a heroic dose to get better at sports or to get better at lifting, right? But if you're already a psychonaut, it's definitely something worth looking into. The neuroplasticity after it is amazing, and it's been pretty much every single time. The week after, I picked up on so many minute things, and it's so much more potent than a microdose. Microdoses are great, and I like them for like that slight performance boost and like unlocking new things, and sometimes the microdose hits at exactly the right time in the practice, and you really click, and then big things happen. But after a heroic dose, and I want to say 2 grams is really a heroic dose, but after a large dose of psilocybin mushrooms, the week after, really everything feels like the brain is completely new and you can mold it in a bunch of different ways. And it's really cool to feel that, and that's what I'm feeling. I know there's a lot of things like going into feeling good in a lift, and I don't want to put it all on the psilocybin. It's definitely what I'm feeling. It's not necessarily physically, but mentally when I'm feeling the ball, I bar right now, I feel super long and like I can keep that pull longer and then get up and over it. And that feeling is completely new. It's a really, really nice feeling to have. And even when I BP'd right before this, and the same thing with my hands, I was just thinking, really, really high hands, and I was locked in on that ball. And it's a really hard feeling to describe, but that feeling of picking something up and feeling something new has been really, really helpful in skill acquisition for me. And again, I'm not using mushrooms necessarily for that purpose. I'm using more for the spiritual experience of that at a concert and going a little bit deeper into life. But the benefits of it skill acquisition wise is really hard for me to argue against, and it's been absolute money. So that's definitely what I'm feeling today, and hopefully it leads to something good. Let's go. Oh, went forward a little bit. Oh, I just smoked my belly. That kind of hurt. Oh, yeah. Man, like no foot cleaning my old PRs. Not recent PRs, but man, that's a pretty significant improvement. Let's keep pushing. Let's see how far we can take it today. I don't know if we're gonna hit an actual PR today just because I don't know if like the actual neural juices are there today to really get after it, like just mentally. Feeling a little bit more zen this week. That's another thing, the mushrooms, like the week after mushrooms, everything's gonna feel peaceful, really calm. Mind's pretty empty. The voices in the head go away. All that chatter goes away. So everything's kind of just calm this week and vibing, which is a great feeling. But I don't know if I'm able to do the smelling salt Austin today, but we're gonna try. Let's go. Those are all without a belt too, and I didn't feel anything in my elbow or my back, which is telling me like the movement is just much more efficient right now. Again, I get it's bro science, I get it's psycho, not science, but it is just the feeling, even if it doesn't look necessarily different, the feeling of everything, of finding that sticking point just feels so much better right now. And then I enjoy that feeling. That's good. Makes everything feel a little less. So we're gonna hit this without a belt, without straps, and then start getting after it in real snatches as soon as we start the body out on these no foot snatches. Let's go. Oh my God. Oh, 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 that was clean. Holy crap, that amazed me. What the hell? We are so far away, and I don't want to get a big head yet because everything could just fall off real quickly. It's happened before. But if we hit a 225 no foot snatch today, I might actually cry tears of joy. Let's go. Ooh, let's go. Not as clean, but still ripping. Let's go. So just so it doesn't seem like mushrooms are the miracle cure for athletic performance, one of the main things that I will note when it comes to mushrooms, either microdosing or after a mega dose, is there is a drop off in outputs, especially when it comes to like sprints, jumps, and anything that's not super technical, right? And I think a big part of that is it brings you very internally focused, so you feel things very differently, right? So it's great for technical things like the snatch and technical things like a swing. And it's great even for sprints and squats to feel different technical pieces, right? To feel different strides, to feel different parts of your squats. But one of the things that you notice is when it comes to running fast or jumping high or even squatting heavy, especially when it comes to squatting, is you kind of want to push through a lot of those internal things. Like when you squat, when I'm on a microdose and I squat, I feel shifts in my hips and I try to fix it in my squat. And again, that's a great thing long-term for skill acquisition, to be able to fix that long-term. And it's like, oh, I haven't noticed that I've done that in my squats. I haven't noticed that I was pushing off the ground in that way in my sprints. But when you're that internally focused in the sprint and jump in and of itself, it slows you down, right? Because you're not focused on just pushing through or getting the weight up. You're more focused on that feeling, right? And I love Tyler Panzer's talk about how he believes that high-level athletes have a really high level of BDNF when it comes to skill acquisition, and it makes sense when you work with really, really high-level athletes. If anything is off, if they have a small, tiny tweak, they notice it so much, and something like a sprained ankle for them affects them way more than it does somebody like me, because I don't have that internal feeling, spatial awareness in my body, so I kind of just am able to push through, which is good for some sense, but what makes them a mega elite athlete is that fine-tuning those slight, tiny feels in their body, right? And I believe when you microdose on mushrooms or post-mega dose, when you have a high spike in BDNF, you're feeling that internal feeling that these high-level athletes have at all times. And it's a totally different feeling for an athlete like myself that's very, very externally driven, externally feeling of just getting the weight up, sprinting through the barrier. So it's amazing for somebody like me in picking up skills and working on the fine-tuned feminine side of things, but I definitely lose a little bit of output in that setting, and I don't think it's necessarily central nervous system wise. I think it's more that feeling wise, and I'm feeling something different, and my focus is just a little bit different. And I think if my levels were like that all the time, my skill acquisition would be so much higher, that my outputs would be so much higher, just because I am perfecting the technique in the same way it comes to this snatch, where once it's cleaner, it's easier, right? But the actual pull and the aggressiveness of the lift in and of itself, and pushing through pain or pushing through poor movement patterns to actually finish the lift, that goes down because you feel it more, right? So I would say if there's a negative side of it, and I don't want to say it's a negative, but the outputs in the moment go down. So it's not this end-all magic here in that setting, because I definitely squat less and I sprint slower when I microdose and post-trip because of those feelings, because of that internal feeling. So it's great long-term, but if you let's say you're doing a combine, obviously I want to recommend you microdosing for like a combine or a straight output-based sport, or even like a powerlifting meet. But when it comes to like a skill sport, I do, because I think, one, the visual acuity that you pick up from it is great, but it's also the feeling in the body of just the technical aspects of it, like pass rushing, where it's not necessarily an absolute output thing that matters, but it's more so feeling the body in the space with your opponent and pass rushing them. Or when it comes to softball, seeing the ball and putting the hands and feeling that swing, right? It's much more technical, but when it comes to straight outputs, I definitely lose a bit on that setting. So thoughts there, let's keep ripping. Let's go. Woo! Let's bounce up, see if we can get a little bit more there. Keep ripping. Ooh, got a little lightheaded there. Woo, about to pass out. That feels like money. Let's add a little bit more weight. See how high we can push this. Let's go. We might be hitting a little bit of a physical barrier here, but the last note on the psilocybin and the microdose, I really wasn't planning on talking about this at all today. But since we're deep diving into this psychonaut stuff, we might as well cover everything that we talked about. One of the main things that I notice with the microdoses and post-mushroom trips is being able to see things before they happen. And I don't know how to describe this. I don't know if it's BDNF. I don't know if elite level athletes have that option. But it's this weird, super weird flow state where when I'm at the plate, I can see my hit before I hit it, in the sense of like I see myself visually in my head hitting the ball in exactly that spot before the pitch ever happens. I'm standing there, I see exactly what I'm about to do, about like 2 steps into the future. I come back into my brain, then I hit it. It's this weird, it's this super weird psychologically like visual thing that happens, that, and it's happened very briefly when I'm in massive flow states. I remember sometimes in pass rushing where I would see my pass rush move before it happened, see exactly what that guy was about to do, work that move, but it was very visual, like I would see it, but I would have to be in massive flow states. When I microdose, it's a much more common occurrence to where I'm sitting up here, I see exactly a spot that I have no idea, like it's not even necessarily the best spot. I remember 2 weekends ago, they were playing push side on the defense. I should have pulled the ball, but I saw myself hitting between the first and second baseman on this line, saw it in my head, pitch comes, do exactly that same thing. And then on that last snatch, missed the first one. Second one, I saw exactly what I needed to do, and it felt like I saw myself lengthen my arms and then throw it up like that. But I visually saw it, I didn't feel it. It wasn't a thought, it wasn't a focus, it was just like seeing it in my head and then doing it. So again, I know that's psychonaut bro science. I don't know exactly what that is, but it's one of the craziest phenomenons I have with the microdosing, to where it's almost like you're seeing into the future and then you perform it. But I really believe high-level athletes are able to do this at all times. You see things that some of these athletes do where it looks like they're seeing the game in slow motion. I really like watching like high-level pass rushers. I think it's DeMarcus Ware with that fake spin move, where it's like, how the fuck did you see and think about that in slow motion, where he hits him with the fake spin and then comes back and goes through? It's like, how did you see that? But then I have instances on the microdoses where I feel exactly what that person is doing and what that person is feeling. So I really do believe high-level athletes have something in their brain, have something in their neurology that allows them to do these things much more often in their sober state, and I believe microdosing allows newbies like me, myself, to feel that for the first time, right? But we're gonna brace up, we're gonna rip this, probably stop talking about psilocybin here before we get kicked off social media. We might be reaching, again, that physical barrier, because that pole didn't feel like I was able to get high enough to be able to lock that out. But we're gonna full send, we got the belt on, let's rip. Oh, come on. I'm gonna try for that one more time, we might get this. Oh, we got that, come on. Get underneath that bar, come on. Pull that fucking bar up, get underneath it, let's go. Oh, let's go. Woo! Come on. All right, that was a sweet little fucking muscle snatch PR. We're not gonna get the 225 on the muscle snatch. We're gonna try some regular snatches. I feel pretty actually spent from that. We kind of sent those. Motivation a little bit gone after that, a little high there. But we're gonna try some snatches, see how they feel. If the timing's all fucked up, we'll just go straight in the bench. That's a big win, let's go. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah. Motivation is gone, let's go bench, fuck. All right, then we're building up to 1 rep max. I got 10 minutes here before I got my sauna session that I just booked, and we got about 4% left on the battery because I left it recording that entire time when I was snatching like an idiot instead of stopping and going. It killed my entire battery, so rip something heavy here, let's go. Ooh. Whee! I don't know if you can really see with the camera angle, but we're doing that 1 plate incline here. So we just got a slight little incline here, ripping those. 1 rep maxes for the next 2 weeks for us and all the athletes. I like to, on the first week of 1 rep maxes, just get the athletes used to pushing a heavy weight again. Add a slight little variation just so they're not discouraged. I think there is something to the skill set of pushing a heavy weight when you're doing like, even going from 3s to 1s, or last 2 weeks we were doing 7s to 1s. There's a difference there neurologically, but also just like feel-wise of that weight. So we'll add a little variation for week 1 of those 1 rep maxes, and then week 2 of those 1 rep maxes. Typically it'll be like a more traditional bench press, squat, deadlift, just to show them their big PRs, and then we'll come back up and hit probably 20 rep maxes or 10 rep maxes the 2 weeks after, and continue to progress all the way through our cycle. So we kind of went through an entire cycle on this YouTube series, which is kind of cool, all from like, I can't remember specifically the whole setup, but it's like 25, 15, 6, 12, 4, 2, 8, 3, 7, 1s, and we kind of went through that entire cycle. So that was kind of cool. Seeing a lot of strength gains. It's working. Let's go. Oh, elbow is feeling a little gunky. We'll see how this is feeling when we start to push weight. It's feeling really good. There are no snatches more efficient, but those the single arm snatches I was trying to do when I pulled up just a little bit too much on some of those weights, it kind of felt a little gunky and feeling a little bit here. So hopefully that settles down and we can rip some weight here. All right, another set, another dollar. Let's get it. Whee! Start hitting some singies. Let's go. So I did a business consult today with a guy that's opening up a gym. Fucking love these consult side of things, and I really need to figure out a way to make it more of a part of my business and just structure it together. My ability to organize and structure products is very, very poor. My ability to create and come up with solutions, really, really high, but structuring and putting together an actual product, horrible. I suck at it. But these consults get me fired up everything I'm doing because it's dudes that are just fucking ready to like kill life and just come with questions. We have a great conversation. But he was asking, but I kind of get this question a lot, and he was asking this question about starting his own social media, and he has a social media following of like his friends and family right now on his personal page. He's wondering if he should start over, and he's worried about losing the followers that he has on his current page when he creates his new content, when he starts posting about the gym, when he does all these things. And the one thing I told him, and I kind of tell a lot of the clients that I come through with this whole business consulting thing, is it's okay to lose those followers. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make them a bad person. But you have to think about it as a new chapter in your life. And I really believe social media can be a beautiful curator of that new chapter in your life when you do start to post content that you actually believe in, that you actually want to talk about, that you're actually passionate about. It'll bring people into your life in this next chapter of your life that are passionate about the things you're currently passionate about. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with losing followers in that setting. I don't think there's anything wrong with somebody unfollowing you because you switched over to a new chapter. It's just a new chapter, and in new chapters you have new characters and people that come into your life, and that's perfectly okay, and I think we just need to be all right with that. I think people need to be all right with using previous chapters to set up a new chapter in your life, rather than holding on to those old chapters and holding on to the old you and not allowing yourself to become the new person that you want to become, and not allowing that to open up the new avenues for the new people in your life and the new businesses in your life. And I do believe life is an evolution of new chapters if you do it right. I think every 2 to 3 years you should evolve into a totally new person. And even the people, I know Will talks about like not changing his mind and not doing this, but if you look at Will's content from 4 years ago to now, he's a totally different person, and he's one of the most stoic people that I know, and he is still totally evolved as a person, right? It's not some lunatic like me that is out there with all these massive, creative, wild, stupid, psilocybin-based ideas, right? It's one of the most steadfast person, but it's just, if you're working and doing the right things in your life and you're continuing to progress in your life, you're going to evolve. You're going to become a new person. It's just progressive data points that totally evolve who you are as a person after so many of them. It's the same as lifting, right? When you start with the barbell, in 4 years, if you do the same thing, you shouldn't even be able to recognize old you in the barbell, and the life should be the same exact way. I just think a lot of people stop lifting the barbell of what life actually is and stop progressing in that way. And they hold on to their old 225-pound squat max rather than getting up to that 405 squat max because somebody might judge them for being a meathead, right? It's kind of a silly way to approach life, and I don't think you should hold grudges against people that don't want to be in that new chapter of your life, and I don't think you should be scared to enter that new chapter of your life. So if you're creating a business and you're going forward, don't worry about those things, right? You will attract a totally new circle of people, and that new circle of people will be with you in that chapter of life. And as you continue to evolve, you'll continually get new circles of people that are great and amazing. And the real, true people in your life, the main characters in your life, are going to stay steadfast the entire time during your life. Those people will not leave. It was just a thought that I have. I need to finish. I wanted to rant more about this, but my battery's at 1%. It's flashing at me, and we need a bench. So let's go. Woo! Let's go. Basic moral of the story: have enough faith in yourself that if you feel like you're moving in the right direction, and you're taking actions to move in the right direction, you are moving in the right direction regardless of what you lost to move in that right direction, right? Just have that faith in yourself. It's going to work out. You should evolve. That's a part of life, and it's an amazing, beautiful part of life. That's all I got to say. Let's go. Woo! Let's go. All right, let's get this. Let's make it clean. Here we go. Woo! Let's go. All right, this is gonna be a full fucking send, but with music playing and a new scene in for one last set, anything is possible. Let's go. Come on. Oh! Let's fucking go. Come on. That's a good fucking day. Way to focus up, way to get after it today. Come on, baby. We're gonna go sauna. Woo! Appreciate you guys watching. Keep chopping wood. Fuck yeah.